Hello and welcome to the Trish Rock Inspires podcast, where we explore spirituality, intuition, and life so that you can learn a different and greater perspective on who you are, why you are here, and find more meaning and purpose in your life. Please like, share, and subscribe wherever you enjoy your favorite podcasts. But now, sit back and enjoy this episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Trish Rock Inspires. This is series 6, and it's called Sparking Your Spirit. And today I'm very honored to have an amazing woman on and a friend, Sheehan, as my guest today. Welcome, Jean.
Thank you so much, Trish. It's been amazing to be here with you, darling.
Oh. So Jean is an award-winning and internationally recognized medical intuitive and modern medicine woman, known as the walking, talking MRI, as she has the ability to see the anatomy and physiology within a human and animal, just like an MRI, an X-ray, and blood test. She travels globally teaching her accredited Millennium modality, which includes medical intuition. A 7-time Amazon best-selling author and creator of the only medical intuitive oracle cards, Jean offers accredited courses for all to leave struggle, pain, hurt, and disease so that they can shine their brilliance and live their best life. As she says, your health is your wealth, so always listen to your body. That is just such perfect advice, and it's so wonderful to have you here to have a conversation. And we've had some conversations before, and I've seen you doing your work and working your magic. So it's wonderful to have you here. So thank you. So Jen, let's start with walking, talking MRI. Tell us a little bit about how you work as a medical intuitive.
I think we'll start with the walking, talking MRI because that always, when I get introduced, is what does that mean? So whether it be corporate world, even the spiritual world, people are still like, what are you talking about? So I love to walk. That's number one. I love to talk. That's number two. And the MRI part was actually coined by a client who he was extremely skeptical. His wife had said, you need to go and see this lady. I don't know what she does, but you need to go and see her. He had been king hit while he was walking down the street and he'd been concussed and he had these prolific headaches, but Western medicine couldn't actually find out what was going on. And he was just not well and not recovering. And his wife had heard about what I did, but she couldn't explain it. Her husband was all into financial and stocks and bonds and things. And explaining like the woo-woo to her husband was like, I don't know, you just got to go and see her. So he came in extremely skeptical. He sat down on my office chair. Yeah, what do you do? Like, and I just thought, oh my goodness me, I love people like this because it's opening the door to like inspire them and like there's another world. So during the consult, I've used my medical background of nursing, pathology, autopsies, but my intuition and seeing inside the body. And I write up the notes. Depending on how the body wants it, it can be very medical, physiological, emotional, spiritual, chemical. But his became very physical. And I could see the concussion. I could see all the bits. And I just said straight out, okay, so I've seen your body. I've looked at it. I've seen what's going on. And I explained in detail what had happened. Now, his wife hadn't told me. And he said, did you tell her what's going on? And she said, no. And I could see the concussion. I could explain the symptoms, the disease, etc. And that's where he went like pale and said, are you a walking, talking MRI? And it's because of that that I got nicknamed. So it's just that I'm able to see like an MRI X-ray blood test with my intuitive sight. So I get all the results and I can understand because of my medical background. What does it mean So that's why it's called walking talking MRI. But it always stumps everyone. What do you do? I'm not
Yeah.
psychic. I'm not clairvoyant. I'm not medium. I don't have any of those beautiful gifts. It's just I see inside the body. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing because, yeah, knowing what happened to him, you would think that would be, like a psychic gift, but you really were just reading what happened to the body.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
just like it sounds pretty weird, but it's even when people have got clothes on or on the phone or on Zoom or whatever,
Mm.
or if they send me an email inquiry through my website, you can already see. Again, I don't know how. It's like seeing your beautiful top, or your gorgeous book at the back. I can see it directly. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's not, I
Wow.
don't know. I just see it. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And I guess, you know, I've spoken to other medical intuitives before, and they see it a little bit differently
Yeah.
than that. It's more of a journey down into the body
Yes.
system.
Yes.
So yeah, so I love that explanation. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So, and for me, it is medical intuition because I do have the medical background,
yeah.
the intuition. I went into the medical system because I didn't understand what I was seeing as a child. Always been able to do it. So I went
Right.
to nursing on purpose to understand. I didn't want to be a doctor. And then after nursing, and I'd see patients and I think, oh my gosh, I can't say anything, can't say anything. I
Mm,
thought I need to know more. And so working in pathology, when we're taking blood tests, urine tests, or bits that have been amputated with gallstones, feet, whatever it is, to the pathology and looking under a microscope, what I could see inside the body, I would take it under the microscope, and it was exactly the same thing. So I needed to quantify my sciencey brain, even though my woo-woo brain was fine, and just marry up the two. So I knew I wasn't going crazy as an adult. And then I did autopsies, but not for very long. Again, just as we cut the body open, there it is, exactly how I see it.
yeah,
And I didn't stay there for long for a couple of reasons. I couldn't handle the formaldehyde toxins and smells and things.
yeah.
I did mention I like to walk and talk. Well, patient doesn't talk because they're dead. And
That's
the
right. They don't
scientist
do a lot
doesn't
of
talk.
walking either.
No, no. And the scientist doesn't talk very much either. Full respect to any scientists or morticians that are watching this, but you guys don't talk. And so I'd be very loving and hello, Mr. Bloggs. I'd still talk to the patient, even though he's dead or she's dead. And I have respect. But the scientists, morticians were like, they were more dead than the patient. So I
Oh,
didn't
God.
I didn't stay there very long. But I again I needed to quantify what I could see was what I could see.
Yeah, I love that because I was going to ask you when it all started, and I thought, it would have been the other way around that you were in those professions and you started to have
No,
these things. So
no.
when did you start being able to do this as a very young child?
Look, innately it was just there always as a
Okay.
child.
Yeah.
However, culturally wise, it was big taboo. I grew up in Kuwait, so I'm actually Arabic. And speaking this sort of thing was big
No.
no-nos. And after I was born, my mum got cancer of her uterus and she couldn't have any more children.
Right.
So in my culture, it was seen that I had tainted the womb. Like I was a girl
Oh,
and I spoke weird stuff. So I was bad luck. I very superstitious and things. So it was always like bad, evil, and I was pinned with like an evil eye in the
oh.
area I lived in. So I was taught that it was wrong,
I'm
it was
surprised
bad,
you
don't
didn't
say
just
anything.
shrink into oblivion after all of that.
Oh, look, I do. People see me now and think, well, I've always been this way. No, I was very small, insignificant, wouldn't say boo, nothing.
Oh,
And
but
then
still had all of your
uh,
visions. Yeah,
always,
yeah,
always, and could see guides and angels and whatever, but I didn't understand them as guides and angels.
no,
And that wasn't spoken. I could see past lives, but what do I say? I could see like, if you want to call it, see the future, but it's not.
no.
I just didn't have anyone to express it to. And then My mum died on Christmas Day when I was 16. And on Christmas Eve, she'd said to me, she was a smoker, and she said, "You ever start smoking, I will come back and haunt you." She died of liver and bowel cancer. And what had happened 2 weeks before, she'd had a stroke. She was only 43. She'd had a
Oh,
stroke and no movement or hemiplegia on the right side. So she couldn't walk, toilet, feed herself or anything anymore. And I had to look after her by myself. And I felt extremely guilty. I couldn't do it. And so I put her into hospital for the last 2 weeks. I felt extremely guilty because I could see inside the body, but who do I tell? I could see what the body wanted, but who do I tell? Because I've been
yeah.
taught, shush,
Not,
don't say anything.
oh
And so she
gosh, what
died.
a terrible position to be in. Mm,
Look, now as an adult, I can see it was perfect. However,
yes.
back then,
Oh, at the
I
time, it's so
didn't know what to
traumatic.
do with that.
Mm,
Yeah. So Christmas Day, she died. Boxing Day, she'd said to me, "Christmas Eve, you start smoking, I'll haunt you." I lit up one of her cigarettes because my brain heard that you start smoking, I'll always be with you. So I smoked. So
isn't
I
that
thought
so
it would bring
interesting
her.
how we interpret things? Isn't it?
Yeah, very much, very much. And so I became homeless on Christmas Day once she died, and I didn't say anything. But after watching the nurses for 2 weeks, that's when I decided I want to be a nurse or a doctor because they were with the patient all the time. I felt like they were giving back. I wanted to give back to my mum, give back to the community. And back then, nurses could live in. So I had accommodation, I had a uniform, clothes, and I had food. So it satisfied a whole heap of needs as such.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously
Yeah,
your
so
soul, your soul was really just directing you there as well.
oh,
Big
very,
soul calling because you really, after all of that experience, you still could have stayed small and just shrunk and just became, you know, a homeless smoker.
I was still a smoker. I smoked for 20 years. Um, so yeah, but I did stay small on some level, Trish, because I
Yeah.
didn't tell anyone. When I was
Oh,
training and nursing and going to the different wards and things, I kept it secret. And it
yeah.
wasn't until our son was about 2 years, our first son was 2 years old. It just all got too much for me, and
Yeah.
I was
Well,
actually suicidal.
there
I
wouldn't have been anybody to tell. I mean,
d-
that's the thing, isn't it? There's nobody to tell that. That's why it's so important. And I know you're a big advocate of this, of having those communities where people
yes,
can speak up about what's
yes,
happening for them
yes.
and to them. Because when you're not heard, you
Oh,
know, your soul doesn't stop calling you to do these
yeah,
things and to be this way. So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And
And
so
and
was
I
it well
didn't.
received when you first spoke?
Oh no, I
Oh,
didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I was suicidal, so I was ready to. I stole drugs from the hospital. I'm so open with it. I stole the drugs, had the glass of water, had the drugs. My son was at childcare. I was ready to commit suicide. I'd had enough. I couldn't
oh
do it,
gosh.
but I didn't tell my husband. I then had a vision of my son at childcare, which was, "Don't leave your son like your mum did." So I rang my nursing girlfriends and said, "Let's go do coffee," because back then you could smoke in coffee shops. So we
Yeah,
did my favorite thing, coffee, cigarette, and
yeah,
smut, which is we just talk like girls like to talk.
yeah,
And we're talking, and I thought, here goes. I'm going to say something. And I did. I just said to my girlfriend everything that was in her body. I just said, "Listen, I can see blah, 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 blah." And I
yeah,
thought, they're either going to lock me up in a psych unit, they're going to ban me, or I don't know. Um,
yeah,
so I did it. And then it just evolved from there of do me to doing clients to can you teach it to credit report. Yeah. So I didn't tell my husband till probably when the older son was 5. So about 3 years later.
yeah.
And he did try to lock me up in a psych unit. He was on the phone to an ambulance because he thought I'd gone nuts.
Oh
Um,
my
he just
God.
went, "What is wrong with you? This is not put down on my husband, by the way, and I'm still with him. But yeah, he thought I was crazy. He literally thought I
Yeah.
was crazy.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So
It's
welcome to the walking, talking MRI.
how wonderful. And I'm so pleased that you followed the calling to actually go and physically be there in those medical situations because yeah, I mean, to confirm our gift
Yeah,
is
yeah,
so powerful because you come then, like when you're healing or helping someone or with a client or with a group of people, you know, your information is coming from a solid base of I've seen this, I know this, you know, I don't have to prove myself to you. I know that it's true. And coming from that energy is always far more powerful for everybody involved. But you know, you just help so many people, and I think you know, just the evidence you produce, like you said for that gentleman, the evidence that you produce. I mean, how can they not believe?
believe or shock them, either or, same thing.
And Jen, you also then help heal any of those things? Yes. Yeah. So what happens after if somebody comes to you and you see what's going on, or if they've had, you know, I don't know what's wrong, Jen, this has been happening for so long and I can't figure it out, nobody can tell me, you know, and then you discover something, whether
Yeah.
it's energetic or physical
Mm,
or past life, how do you then flow that into healing?
yeah. So I always scan the body. As I mentioned, I write scribbly notes, and it's just my way of bringing the information through. And I do a disclaimer of legally, I can't use the word diagnose, treat, or prescribe because I'm not in the medical field anymore. That's a big no-no. So I say it's education information.
Yeah.
And but it tends to be really, really accurate. And it'll be right down to, listen, this is happening because you were deficient in B6, and you're deficient in B6 because this is happening in the bladder, and your kidneys are doing whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it's giving the person information. In a consult, I'll do that, and I'll also offer, would you like me to actually then do the healing part? And when I just say the healing part, I say, look, I don't call myself a healer. What I say is, I just want to orchestrate the story. There's a story in the body that's got itself to disease to get your attention, which
Yeah.
is usually change of life. I just need to change the story. So
Yeah.
instead of the story being maybe, and this is where the emotional links are, that it's going to sound like I'm swearing, but I'm not. The person has incontinence because they're menopausal, and they've got bladder incontinence, they're emotional, they're brain fog. And then as I'm talking about the bladder and things are out of control, and you might be pissed off with something, and the word's pissed off is because it's related to the bladder.
Yeah.
I said, look, we're just going to change the story. And as we do that in the healing process, they will say to me in a couple of weeks, what did you do? My incontinence has stopped and I haven't got brain fog. And I say, did you fix me? I don't fix. No, I say fix. But what if you, your body, and me just change the story?
Yeah.
Because that's all it is. A disease is a story. It doesn't have to be that way, but usually it's a change of direction or change of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that I offer the healing part for them.
Yeah.
Generally, people say yes, and especially using crystals, crystal grids, and psychic surgery, and all those delicious, yummy things as well.
Yeah, I love that. And as you said, as we said in your bio, I mean, the body, if you listen to it, is always telling you what it needs and what it
Yeah,
doesn't need.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And you know, it'll do a quiet little flutter or a little yeah, until it gets to the point where you do get concussion. It's like,
Yeah,
whoa, what was that whack in the head?
absolutely.
Yeah, and I've been there a few times. So the four the two across the oh, okay, I'm listening, I'm listening.
Ah,
So yeah, oh, I love that. I love that. And you're always just such beautiful, joyful, high energy, and
oh,
you
thank
know,
you.
people. I think people just feel. really good just in your energetic presence as
Oh,
well,
thank
which
you.
I've seen.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For me, it's I want to love the person. If it's under nursing, pathology, even autopsies or medical intuition, it's if I do, I mean, they talk about it and it's written about in songs and whatever, but love does heal. If somebody is going to come to me for a session, and sometimes I don't take everybody on. Like when we make an inquiry, I do like a 15-minute chat. And sometimes I'll say, listen, I've scanned your body, but your body doesn't want me. It wants to go to a chiropractor first or have essences or some other way first.
Yeah.
It's important. Love the person so much because they're in a desperate state. Because by the time they get to me, they've been through the Western medicine and they can't find a solution.
Yeah.
Love that person so much. I'm like, gosh, like, or but not just person, animal, love them. And magic does start to happen for all of us, no matter what job it is,
Yeah.
a garbage driver or a lawyer or whatever. Love them. Watch what
Yeah.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And you've got personal experience from that day you sat down with your nursing girlfriends when you were at the end.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you just needed them to love you. You didn't need any
Yeah.
answers from them. You just needed
No,
them to love you.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And now, Jen, you run amazing retreats over in Egypt. Tell us a little bit about that. I know it's your favorite place to
Mm.
be.
Part of it is the culture because I'm Arabic. I like to take people and I explain that when you're coming to Egypt or the Arab countries, that I'm going to show you how I grew up, what my dad used to wear, what we used to eat, what we eat, or I still cook. I don't cook anything but Arabic and Greek food. And so these are actually journeys and as they're spiritual journeys. I don't take people to Egypt for the touristy type thing. It really is a reflection on who are you. So the journey is called Return to Self, and it's cutting past lives that no longer serve you from whatever lifetime, as well as let's bring in past lives that you're not integrating. And it does have the connection to Atlantis, High Priestess, Goddess energy as well, because that was
Yeah.
part of Egypt too. And so, yeah, I just ask people when you come, surrender. All you got to worry about is look after your suitcase, look after what you eat, and let me just take you through the journey. And each one is always different, depending on the year, the retrogrades, moon cycles. Do I take them in new moon, full moon, during the retrograde, after the retrograde? Which is related to mystery school, which I have a strong memory to as well. And so, yeah, those it's a journey. It's like just come and because you're not going to be the same. You just can't be the same or through the processes and things. So
Yeah.
I love taking people to my culture and home and Egypt and things like that too, very much.
Oh, it's powerful energy there. I haven't been there, but every time I
Ah,
see someone and I've seen your recent journey there, I mean, the energy is just like, whoa, I
yeah,
need to go there. I've definitely had a past life there doing something.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you
definitely.
can just feel it. It feels like home. It feels like
Yeah.
home.
Oh, look, and goosebumps, and that's what everyone says. After the journey with me, they say, look, I went home, and it's not just Egypt or Isis Ra, it's the Nubian, it's the Atlantis, and it's the galactic stuff that we do. It's like, which part of home is there? Like it's a beautiful, beautiful space. So, and yeah, when you say like, there's definitely past life there, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And so your 2024 is booked out. So your next one
Yes.
is next year. What dates have you got in case people?
Yes, we've got 2nd to the 18th of October. We've already got 4 people booked in. So it's a 17-day journey. And we are specifically going to a place called Siwa, which is Cleopatra Pond and Atlantis High Priestess and things. Um, but I'm also just gonna I've decided when I came back from Egypt recently, I'm going to do a second one as well, which is related to animal healing because of the all the animal medical tuition I did just recently by myself. So we're going to have a second one. I've just got to plan that one out as well.
Oh, you
Detailing on
had
the
so much fun, and we had so much
oh,
fun following your journey on Facebook with all of the animals, and that was incredible. So yeah, whoever goes on that one's going to find out really.
yeah, that one's very specific of for people that want to do some animal healing, camels, donkeys, the
Yeah,
dogs, horses, etc. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. And so, do you want to talk about Mystery School a little bit?
Sh- Sure.
Yeah,
Mystery School was the times of awakening. So Atlantis, Lemuria, Incan, Aztec, Mayan, Pallades, many times, medieval Egypt, etc., many times. And they were called Mystery School. And in fact, my business is Millennium Education, which is
yeah,
Mystery School. But because I was guided that I need to take this into mainstream, so I've worked in prisons, cruise ships, corporate world, I couldn't call it Mystery School. So I had to make it like a normal name. But Mystery School is like these. They're sacred codes to creation. In today's words, feeling better, healthy, empowered. That's today's words. But
yeah,
it's working with when an animal comes, what does it mean? Why work with retrogrades? Why bring in the seasons,
yeah,
crystals, chanting, music, like all the delicious things we have. And so certain mystery schools might have focused on just music or sound therapy or things like that. Some just on crystal healing, etc. So, the mystery school that I offer relates to medical intuition and all the modules and the spiritual journeys, and it's of the new paradigm. So, the 3D paradigm has people protect yourself, white light, whereas mystery school taught, well, there's nothing to protect from. First dimension, golden age reality, it's like you're unlimited. It always works out. You can have your biggest dreams and be healthy and all those sort of things.
yeah.
So, yeah, it was today's words is making you feel great more than anything.
Yeah, I love that, and I'm kind of a believer about that protection as well. It's like, just bring in more light, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
We're all
back to
good.
the love. Yeah, back to the love.
Back to the love,
Absolutely.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And I'm not a religious person, but some of the stuff that comes up, I just take myself back to if I was standing there in front of Jesus, he wouldn't be doing that.
No, no.
He'd just be bringing in the light and loving everybody.
Yeah,
Not,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yep, definitely.
So I've got all the links below to your website, which is Millennium Education, and all of your social media links, so people can look you up and I can connect with you and talk to you about coming and having a session with you or working with you in some capacity. For the people who are listening in today, that are perhaps they're just starting to feel their soul calling. I mean, there's so many portals opening now
Yes,
that people who
yes.
haven't noticed any gifts before are now noticing they've got some gifts.
Yeah.
So for those people or people like yourself that kept it quiet for so long, what would you say to them to kind of help them start, opening up about it and exploring their gifts?
I think that's a beautiful question, especially just recently on Sunday. I went to the beach to a secret spot on a cliff face where I live on the Sunshine Coast, Noosa, and I was welcoming in the 2025 energies related to these codes and things. Had no idea there was a man standing there. I thought I was by myself. I'm seeing the light language and I'm meditating and I'm chanting and doing all my woo-woo thing. And I thought, oh well. And then I came out of it. I went, "Hey, and I thought, well, there's no hiding now. So I said, oh, aren't the whales and the dolphins beautiful? Because it was right where I was sitting on the edge of the cliff with whales and dolphins.
Oh,
Well, because I was being me, it
yeah.
opened the door for him to actually say, oh, what are you doing? So I said, look, I was speaking light language and just briefly explain because I thought he might not understand. He opened the door to say he was reading some book by Joe Dispenza. I said, I know of him, I don't know him. We start to talk, and I noticed that he got closer and closer to talk to me because he was over there. And I think the biggest thing is um, allow yourself to speak whatever you need to speak or say or express. Now, whether it be in artwork, whether it be singing, dancing, whatever that portal of expression, it is no holding back. Because when we do that, like with me, it made me sick. I actually got physically sick as well as suicidal. And
Mm.
so, even if we don't know what it is, direction, gift, thing, but just being able to say, like I did as a kid, I would say, that man's going to die because there's something in his stomach, even though I got in trouble for it. Oh, I actually got beaten for it. But anyway, it's like, well, you know what? Just sit on the edge of the cliff, sing light language and chant
Yeah.
and things. Don't hold back because it makes us really sick. And if you're not sure where to go, when you be all of you, that right person, thing, situation comes in, whoever it be. Was I helping that man or did that man help me? For me, he helped me because there's no holding back. Now everyone's seen me sing light language. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, yeah. And I think
yeah, I
the
just think,
energies have shifted so much, even just
yeah,
in this last 6 months, that
yeah.
people are finding the courage, I think, to like, you
Oh,
know what the heck? I'm just going to do it.
yeah, absolutely. Michael J. Fox coined a phrase, and I wish I'd learnt this when I was a kid. What people think of me is none of my business. And when I heard that years ago, I went, oh, oh.
Yeah,
And so I love it. So it's still in my head. What people
yeah,
think of me is none of my business. And I go, well, so, and yeah, shine
absolutely.
because who knows what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Absolutely. And we're always growing and learning. And, I popped that quote up this week actually because
I did you.
because I've also just recently let go of another thing I was holding on
Yeah,
to, like that stopped me from speaking
yes.
out. And because you get so held down sometimes in childhood for different reasons,
Yeah,
and it's never to do with us. It's
yeah, yeah,
always to do with the others. And
yeah,
so, but we take it on as our stuff, like, oh, okay, I can't do that, or I can't do that.
yeah.
And so, so even, people see me as brave and courageous, but there's still things that I'm not brave and
Mm.
courageous to do that I'm now starting to do. And so I think the energy is really powerful right now for people to start going, you know what, I've got to stop that people pleasing and I need to please me. That
Yeah,
makes me happy. I want to do that. Or this
yeah,
makes me happy. I want to do that. I've got a
absolutely.
gift to this and I'm going to go and learn more about it, or I'm going to
Yeah,
find a teacher, find a group, find a community where I can
so-
express it. And
yeah.
I
So
think
agree.
you bring that all together beautifully for people because they can come to you and express who they really are without being
Oh,
condemned for it.
no, no. Like I've got people that doing my mentoring program. It's called the Genius Program, and one person is drinking and smoking and not eating well. And I just say to that person when they're sharing doing mentoring, do you know what? I don't make a judgment. You're the one judging you. At the moment, those things are giving you a need. I never drank, but gosh, I drank heaps of Turkish coffee full of sugar and lots of cigarettes. So I can only have compassion for you. I cannot judge you. So share away. Maybe you're hiding you doing those things. So I agree, Trish. And I think you're very brave, my darling. I've seen you do magic and miracles. Very, very much. Much.
Thank you. And I think I'm now brave enough to, just keep uncovering. You just got to keep, opening up to, oh, what else? What else?
Yeah,
What else? What's next?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, it's been so wonderful speaking with you,
Oh,
and I'm sure it's just been so enlightening for people, and just to hear about your powerful work and really your journey to get comfortable with it, within yourself, really, which is what matters before. anyone else is comfortable with it. So thank you, and
Thank you.
please, anyone who's listening, yeah, just please reach out to Jean, connect with her on socials, check her website out, and yeah, go and experience some of her magic.
Oh, thank you, Trish. Thank you, my darling.
You're so welcome. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. And yeah, leave a comment. Let us know what you think and what came up for you. And I will see you on the next episode of Trish Rock Inspired. Bye for now.